I offer my most humble pranams at the dearest Lord, the sweetest Lord, the one who guides us, and our true friend, Bhagwan Sri Satya Sai Baba. Respected elders, sisters and brothers, and trustees, Jai Sai Ram to you all. So I have the honour of welcoming you all to today's National Office Bearers Conference and Active Workers. And it's been a long time since we've been together. As Brother Kapil said, it's been just over 2 years. I think it was the Christmas programme in Cheltenham back in 2019. And what 2 years we've had. I think for those of you who know me, I'll take you back maybe a year or two before that. Not in my wildest dreams you would have seen me up here as a national president. And for those of you who know me well, I've kind of shied away from all that side. I've taken part in the service and the different young adult, the positions as Kapil mentioned. But I never thought that I would be here. And then I came on board and took over, Brother Shittu handed over the baton from the side. We started to prepare for the pre-World Conference, and then suddenly COVID struck, and everything stopped. And it's been tough 2 years for each and every one of us. And we've gone from a council that met probably 3 or 4 times a year, to also with several events in the year as well, to having daily calls, weekly Zoom calls, and I think everyone's life has changed, as we know. And a lot of lives have lost as well, and a lot of people have been affected in many, many ways. And our prayers, obviously, continues to Swami to continue to look after the families, to guide them, to support them. And Swami will never let us down, and we know that. Swami has given us a reassurance that he'll always be there for us. As Swami says, he'll protect, like the eyelid protects the eye, he will protect us in every step of the way. And all we have to do is just hold on to his feet and never let go. And it has been tough. And for me, I used to pray to Swami, I didn't want to be in this position, but you wanted me to be in this position, so I came on board. And the first thing I do is close the whole country down from the centres and the groups. And this is all we go to, isn't it? When we speak to the devotees, they just want to be together. And today, for me, it's all this week has been exciting just to know that we're going to see in person. And then suddenly 2 storms hit the day before and the 2 days before the event. And it reminded me of the time when we had, we were working out yesterday, 2013, I think it was maybe, or 14, and we were coming down to London for the National Office Bearers Conference, and we had heavy snow. And I remember we were coming down in the van from Leicester, and the wipers were frozen. We got here. It wasn't this venue, I think it was the Hatfield venue. And it was just solid snow. And we had to make a decision quickly to cancel the program. And I believe Dr. Reddy was flying over for that weekend as well. And yesterday, as we were driving down the M1 and the car was moving from lane to lane and everything, we were thinking, Swami, what is this new drama that you're taking us through? But we'll enjoy it and we'll see where we end up. But it was just lovely to see so many of you here today. I know so many couldn't make it because of the weather and everything as well. So we've had 2 years of the coronavirus, which now seems to become a little bit of a normality as such. We can get out. And even today was very much touch and go. Originally we were doing a 2-day program. Then it was going to be an online program. And then it was preparing for both. And the council, we were thinking, what do we do? Do we record everything? Do we be ready for it? But Swami has brought us here today. And then we had the change of structure as well last year. And again, Swami's dramas unfold. And all we were saying as a council was, and it was tough times, and we reached out to each and every one of you. We reached out to the regions, the centres, devotees, and all the phone calls. And Zoom seems to be a standard word in everything we do now, or Teams, or some kind of online meetings. The only thing that we was doing, and I think we'll continue to do, is to hold on to Swami's feet. Things I will share today as well by devotees who have shared with me as well, and other devotees as well. But I remember a conversation back in 2003, and a devotee said to me, and uncle said to me that it's like a tree. When Swami shakes the tree, the leaves will fall, and those who will fall away will drift away. And at the time of this last 2 years, my thoughts were on that experience that Swami has said. Swami, please, if we falter as a council, as a team, hold on to us, don't let us go. We will go through troubled times, but if we're with you and you're with us, nothing else matters. And whatever however the drama unfolds, we will enjoy, as much as we can do, enjoy the experience. So it has been a tough 2 years, but Swami has kept us together. We have seen some wonderful things happening online. Everything's happening online. The bhajans continued at centres and groups, which is great because that's where everyone looks forward to. The Bal Vikas started online as well. And in some areas, and I don't want to take anything from the wing presentations, but in some areas we were seeing more and more children joining in as well. And now that centres are opening up, these children and their families, because the parents will follow the children, are coming to the centres as well. And on a daily basis we're hearing centres and groups opening up as well. All in a safe manner, and all in terms of risk assessment and COVID. And it's wonderful to see today everyone wearing the mask and doing the lateral flows. For us it's important to make sure that everyone's safe and well. And also the Swami's name is not tarnished by what we do as well. So those are the 2 years. We've had the opportunity as well, and every day, and it's something I share with my children every single day, and it's more of a reminder for myself, but it's to remind them as well, is to be thankful what Bhagwan does for us, to give us every single opportunity. And it is an opportunity, is whether we're watching and looking out for it, whether we're watching Him protect us every single moment of the day. And He, not only have we been born, and we've heard this many times, but it is so true, not only we've been born the same time when Bhagwan walked on earth, but we've known that He's God. He's still God for us. We know about His organization, and we've had the opportunity of taking part in His service projects, office bearers, active workers. And we might think we're the doer, and it's all Him who has chosen each and every one of us. He has chosen that all of us attend today as well. So for me, it's wonderful to see you all. We have got a packed program, as Kapil has mentioned, and we're trying to cram everything in because it's our first time in 2 years. And it's like kind of a family get-together, a satsang, where we want to make the most of it. And we want you to make the most of it as well. Take part in it, ask questions, enjoy every session. We'll try and stick to time as well, and we know that things will go over slightly, but make the most of it. And Swami has said many times as well, each and every one of us can do anything we want to do, but to do it as united, as a family, as a group, makes Him the proudest. So we want more people to be involved. There's many things we could have done. 2 years ago when we started the preparation for pre-world conference, and we were looking at what are our goals, and the young adults had objectives and things they wanted to do, all the wings had. When COVID hit, things changed. So we've started some of those things, but we want to continue. But we don't want to just continue with the small group of us. We want to expand. As Swami says, expansion is His life. And the same with this as well. We should expand. We should all get together and join that journey and enjoy it. And I remember once, I think it was 1995, when I went to see Swami as a university student, having the month off, we would go there. And he came up to me and just said, very happy, very happy, very happy. And that's all it's about, being happy. Even though he's telling me he's happy, life is just about being happy. And if we're happy together, the work will flow. He'll give us opportunities and we'll work together. I had something written down, I haven't even looked at the sheet, so everything is just coming as hopefully Swami wishes. And then that's all I pray to Swami. Swami, please talk through me, do everything through me as well. It's probably... This is a quote going back to what Swami would say. The organization that bears his name exists for the benefit of people who chose to dedicate themselves to practice his teachings and further his mission. Our organization is founded under the guidance and inspiration of Bhagwan Sri Satya Sai Baba, that seeks the transformation of mankind through the practice of his teachings. The organization does not have any distinction or separateness on the basis of religion, race, nationality, caste, creed, or sect. This is a reminder for all of us, and especially me, because this is for my transformation that I'm here. I might be taking part in lots of things like we all are, but if I'm not getting closer to Bhagwan, then I'm not doing what he's asking me to do. It's a very good time to actually welcome the new council as well. And if you can all come up maybe to the bottom of the stage so everyone can see you. You'll know everyone anyway, So there are familiar faces, people that are very dedicated, have been working in Swami's fold for. Please don't be shy, come forward. And one thing, whilst they're all coming to the front, one thing we were discussed as a council last year, and some of us as a council, we actually came to the end of our term as well. And with everything, the changes, we thought that the best thing to do is have stability where we can have. So we have our two national joint deputy presidents, Brother Narendra and Brother Pratap as well, who have been in Swami's fold for many, many years. Narendra Bhai, going back to what someone said to me a long time ago, and everyone knows Uncle, as Mukhan Uncle, we've all come from centre of the universe, as we refer back to Leicester and being Region 4 as well. We have our national joint Bal Vikas coordinators as well, Sister Vasuki and Brother Ronnie as well. We have Jayesh Bhai, our national service coordinator, and Brother Shakti as well, our national spiritual coordinator. We are in the process of finalising our national young adult coordinator as well. And we also have our Tushar, who's our national media coordinator. And why I'm laughing is the media team do the pictures, do the media, and I realise there's no picture of Tushar on the screen up there as well. So we will get that picture done today and put on the presentation as well. We also have our regional presidents as well. We have Brother Shakti, who's doing a dual role. So he's not happy doing just one role for Swami. He's taken on both roles as well. We have Sister Anita as well, for Region 2 President, who's been in Swami's for many, many years. And I've known Sister Anita for decades now. I think the amount of pilgrimages to Bhagwan that we've been together as well. And Dr. Arul as well, for Region 3 President as well. And then we have another person from the centre of the universe, our Amit as well, as Region 4 President. Unfortunately, Brother Sanjay, which you all know, couldn't make today. So we have Sanjay Vaja from Region 5. And we have someone else that's taken dual roles as well, Brother Ronnie, who's doing obviously the Bal Vikas role and the Region 6 President as well. And Brother Mahendra there at Region 7. And then Dr. Ram, who's been, ever since I've known, as our leader for Region 8 as well. Unfortunately couldn't make today as well. So this is our chosen council for this year as well. And we have one, as they take a seat, we have one motto, is to really serve. And we want to serve our devotees, our wing coordinators, our centres, groups, because this is where all the work happens, and we know that. And this is where we all look forward to going to all the centres and groups as well. We're going to have a very quick short video on some of the activities of last year, and then I'll come back and share some more thoughts on the Global Council and the vision for 2022.
This beautiful life,
I exceed joy. I know I never get to call you back. You always understand. Ever see?
छोड़ के सब कुछ मैं परती आया, तुम्हारे चरणों में दिल को समाया रे साईं राम।
सत्य साईं राम, हे साईं राम, सत्य साईं।
Going on here? Why aren't you working?
It's wonderful to see so many activities, and I'm sure there's so many more that happened that we're just capturing that short video as well. And even in the times when it was difficult and centres were closed, devotees' hearts were pouring out when they saw things that needed support. And it's thank you to all of you, and obviously everyone that's not here as well. And it's to really reach out. And Swami says, isn't it? Does our heart, does it hurt when we see something like some of the service projects there as well? And Brother Jayesh Bhai is going to be sharing some more service opportunities as well for all of us. And in the workshop, there's going to be, I'm sure, plenty of discussions. Even with the workshops, we had an hour penciled in first, and we wanted to make the most, because feedback we get all the time, and we will do some feedback after this session as well, is we need more time to discuss, to have that discussions about what's working well, what more do we need to do. And a few of you already approached me today saying that we do need to serve more, and we do, 100%. So today is kind of the start of that discussion as well. I did forget to mention actually the outgoing office bearers from the council as well. Brother Rajendra as well, who's not obviously here today, he's out of the country, but as our national spiritual coordinator, and our three sisters who took the role on for the national young adults coordinators as well. So Sister Nirali, Sister Diksha and Sister Kavita as well, who did, again, a fantastic role for the young adults as well over the 2 years. So just a quick brief in terms of information on the Global Council. And here are the objectives. And there is obviously the Global Council website, and you'll see more information. It's trying to just give some of the key information on how we are part of the Global Council and what it means as well. And it's to really unify and strengthen and to expand Sri Sathya Sai organizations. And this is globally. And to firmly establish their connection to the sacred abode of Prashanti and Prashanti Nilayam, with greater coordination and cooperation as directed by our dearest Lord, Bhagwan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. To provide a platform to harmonize the strengths, ideas and initiatives by the Sai organizations, nurtured and guided by Bhagwan, and to draw support from each other's strengths to reach out to humanity through seva, and intensify sadhana of each office bearer and participating devotee. And the mission, and what I've just done is just again picked out a few key areas from the website as well, and really how, looking at how visible we are in terms of teachings of Bhagwan can be easily found and accessible as well, in terms of how impactfulness and by harnessing the strengths and knowledge of the Sai organizations to bring unity and harmony among all Sri Sathya Sai organizations, and to streamline dissemination of Swami's teachings as well, and the work and to coordinate programs to make them more effective and pervasive as well. As you know, the Global Council is split up into different zones, and we, as part of Europe, are falling under Zone 6 as well. And we have Brother Phil von Dieten, who wanted to be here from Germany, who's our acting zonal president. Unfortunately, he couldn't be here, but he's actually shared a short message for us all as well. So we'd like to just play that message now as well.
Om Sai Ram. Hello. My most humble and loving Sai Rams to all of you. In case you're wondering who I am, let me introduce myself really quickly. My name is Philip von Dietlein. I'm from Germany, and I am the acting zone chair of the Eurozone, which used to be Zone 6 and 7, now combined into one zone. And I would love to see you in person, talk to you, connect with you. Obviously, that's not possible at the moment, so we leave that to a later date. Now, it is my honor and privilege to talk to you a little bit about the Global Council and what's going on in Europe and the world. About me, which is not that interesting and not that important, I have a degree in philosophy and economics. I have worked as an entrepreneur most of my adult life. I'm semi-retired now. I have time to do fun stuff like teach yoga and meditation. I've been a devotee for over 30 years, and in case you're wondering why I'm an entrepreneur and teaching yoga, that's not a secret. It's a very simple answer. Swami has told me. In 1998, in Whitefield doing darshan, he said, do Kundalini Yoga. I had no idea what that was, but I found out, and I've been doing it ever since. I like it, and it has helped me in business, it has helped me with my health, and I'm teaching it. And also now I have more time to do seva and work for the Global Council. Now, the Global Council, as you all know by now, is a reality. We are alive and kicking. According to the ashram, we have about 96-97% of the worldwide registered devotees following and joining the Global Council. Internationally, it's divided between the countries. Sometimes it's 50%, up to 90%, depending on the country. But more and more people, more and more centers, more and more countries are realizing what's going on and are joining the Global Council. That I would like to say about the formalities. Now, in terms of work, we have trying times, and this is a great opportunity for us to do seva, because that's what we're all about. I mean, that's what we have been trained for. And you all know Swami's saying, service to man or service to human is service to God. So this is a great opportunity to keep working, not only inside the administration, because there are some changes, but also outside. And one of the focus points always of Swami's work was unity. So no matter what the background is, no matter what this bureaucratic shuffle is all about, focus on Swami, focus on the teachings, and go out and help people. Please, you don't have to do big things, because right now there's a lot of help to be done, and I would like to suggest a few things. One of them, help each other. We always, as Sai devotees, we go out, we help other people, but who takes care of us? Yes, Swami does, but still, I mean, have you ever sit down with your fellow devotees and, during the pandemic, looked them in the eye and said, how are you doing? Are you okay? How is this affecting you? How is your family? Don't do psychological counseling unless you're qualified. Just talk to them, help them. And if they have any questions, remind them and reorient them on Swami. The best thing you can do in this time is keep your faith, because after all, we have Swami's word that the world is not going to end. And this is a great way to live that and actually practice it on the inside and on the outside. And one thing I always forget, that's why I would like to remind you, because I'm sure you forget this, is that Swami once told me, ask me for everything. I mean, not everything in terms of everything, but every little thing. And you'd be amazed how quickly you can get whatever you need. If you don't get something, maybe it's not because it's the right thing or the right time. Trust him. That's my message. But, if you want protection, if you want health, if you want some support, whatever it is, a parking spot maybe, ask him. Ask him for help. It has worked for me for many, 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 many years. And it has been a very inspirational journey. Sometimes I forget. And then he reminds me somehow, or I am reminded. So that's one of the points I would like to put up. Now, the other part about the Global Council is that people wonder, why do we need a Global Council? And, you've heard all the stories, and it's on the website, and you can check out all the details. Maybe that's a discussion for another day. The point is that we needed a structure to be ready for the future, because the old organization relied solely on Swami. He was doing everything, he was managing everything, he knew everything. He would hire and fire and whatnot, all the people. We can't do that without him. So we needed a structure for people to be involved and for the future. This is what we are doing. It's not a power grab. It's not whatever people say. It's a more organized, more structured, more democratic setup. So, and in this fashion, I would like to suggest that if you want, start a little Seva project. I would like to call it Project Outreach. Now, as I was preparing for this little speech, I was sitting in meditation and two things came to my mind. One was an old slogan by a phone company when I was in the States. I don't know if they're still in business, it doesn't matter. And their slogan was, reach out and touch someone, which I thought was a very interesting slogan for a phone company. And that reminded me that right now, loneliness is a big problem. Even though people are connected online, especially young people, for some strange reason, they are all connected, but especially young people in this day, in this pandemic, seem to be very lonely, very stressed out because they've never experienced this. So if you can, if you want, call them up. You don't have to go to their house, if you want to, quarantine or just, be safe. But get in touch with people. Call someone from your family, maybe a distant relative or old people. You never know how they are doing. and just, do something. It doesn't have to be long, it doesn't have to be much. Just try to get in touch with people and do some heart-to-heart, human-to-human interaction. Now, the other thing, what can we do to help people and the world and the situation at this point? So let me tell you a quick story. I was in Buddha Party in February and March of 2011 when Fukushima happened. The nuclear power plant in Japan that basically blew up. And everybody was very concerned. There was a chain reaction and everything. And people asked Swami, so what, the elements of the world are in disarray, and what can we do? And, what's going to happen? How can we help you? And he said, pray and do Samastaloka 3 times a day, 9 times. Sunrise, high noon, sunset, or thereabouts. This is sort of a message I would like to impart to you because I think it's a good idea to use the spiritual teachings he has imparted on us. And the power of prayer, probably to all of you, is well known and established. Mantras work. You just have to do it. And maybe you can make it into a seva project, put a name on it. You're free to do whatever you feel is necessary, or just do it individually, sort of on a one-by-one basis. The other thing, interestingly, that came up in my mind when I was preparing for this was a quote from a philosopher named John Locke. He was British, actually Scottish, maybe you've heard of him. And he has a famous quote saying that the actions of man are the best interpreters of their thoughts. Which is basically Swami's way of saying unity of thought, word, and deed. So the idea that you should talk the talk and walk the walk and do what you say and mean what you say is not new. And do our thing and focus on our future and our projects and our Swami. Sadam.
Okay, so we've heard from Brother Phil, and now it's really time to look at the vision for 2022 here in the UK. So for us, really, it's to continue to serve Swami, and our focus has always got to be, and there's nothing new on this slide, I think, that any of you wouldn't have seen before or believe in, but it's just more of a reminder to me, to us, as a council, as office bearers, as active workers as well. So to continue to serve Bhagwan, and continue to work with the same principles as we have done so in the past. Working on UK-specific guidelines as well, and you'll hear from Pratap Bhai very soon as well, of the work that's already been happened in 2021, and some of the things that we've been doing for very few years as well, but it's to kind of make it more solidify and make it concrete, so we can start using new guidelines. And to expand the work that we are currently doing. We are at the centres, at the groups, as I mentioned, at the regions and national as well, lots of activities happening, lots of service projects happening, but what can we do more? And to do more, we need obviously more of us to get together, to unite and do his work in his name as well, and keep that focus on Bhagwan as well. And to just see the wings flourish even more as well. And again, the workshops will be, the presentations happening for the workshops, we'll see some of the activities happened last year, very specific to the workshops as well, but also moving forward as well for 2022. So really, now is time to invite Pratap Bhai to the stage to talk about organizational matters and some of the great work that's happening. But he will also mention in terms of opportunities for us to take part in more of these work, these streams as well.